For today's lesson, we are learning how to draw this mandala. And the first thing we're going to do is, using this guide, we're going to replicate what we see here on the left. So let's first of all talk about these guidelines that are listed here and that are on this page. They are simply a guide. So we're not going to use them every single time, but we will use them periodically throughout this drawing. So let's get started with this first center of this mandala. So you see these two little triangles here. We're going to simply take from here to here and go like this. So we're kind of building a square amongst this, okay? So all you're going to see really is this piece here. So we're going like this and like this. We're not going to see this section here. Now we're going to take our triangles and we're going to go in between each one of these pie slices. So here is the middle section. We've got a dot here. I'm going to put dot here, dot in the middle of here, in the middle of all of these pie slices. Then I'm going to put a space here. I'm going to come down like this, within it, within the slice. So we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slices, 8 of these bursting things here. So we've got this point here that we're going to erase. Then we're going to take this line and come down to here. So it comes across. I'm not using a ruler, and the same thing with this. So let's darken these lines. So this is this. We've got this line here coming down. We've got this line here coming down. Just going to meet here. Okay, so we've got this shape here. So this is our initial shape. I'm not going to ink this. I'm just going to concentrate on my dark pencil lines with this number 2 pencil that I'm using. And then what I'll do is at the end, I'll go over and erase my lighter lines. So here we have this middle shape right here. So let's erase all of my guidelines, the lighter lines, so that we can really grasp what we're seeing here. Just kind of darken that up a little bit more. Okay? Now, in between all of these points is another point, and I'm going to use this second circle. This is circle number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use this second circle as how far up I'm going to come. So I'm going to put a dot here between each one of my spaces, just so I know where to go. And then I'm going to come down to about, well, I could come down to here, but I want it to be like halfway. See how it's halfway between that? So I want to kind of come down to there. So that would be my first one. And then I'm just going to kind of put these little lines as my halfways. You don't have to put those lines either. You can just leave them. Here's another one as my guide. Here's another one. So they're all coming out to the same section. We've got another one here that is coming up to here because that's my in-between. And then here, gotta twist my arm here to be able to reach. If I was drawing this without doing a video, I would be just spinning my page around, but I'm going to spare you the spinning. How's that? Now we've got this other section here, and now we're going to do the same thing we just did with our second set of, we're going to call them triangles, second set. So in between each of these, we want to use this this circle here, and we want to put another line. So between here, here. Between these two, here. Between these two, here. Okay? So that's our outer point. Now, just like we did this little line here to kind of divide up the space between here and here, we're going to do the same thing with this, but not completely down. So come down about a quarter and give it a little bit of a line. I mean, they don't have to be that direction. It could just be a little speck if you wanted it to be. And now I'm going to connect this to this and this to this. And I'm going to do the same thing as I'm making my way around. Okay, so now we've got that line that's there with all those little, we're going to call it the frillies. We'll call it the frillies on that. I'm darkening this line so I know where it is, know what to see. See this part right here? We can erase that. And I'm just going to lightly erase. I'm just using a white eraser today. I'm just going to lightly erase my extra sketched out lines, I guess. You can get rid of all of those little doodads that are there. Darken that one a little bit. So I'm not going to add my little frillies until we're done. And I'm not going to add the center specks and the little dots in there until we're done either. So now we've got this part right here. We're going to do the same thing we just did with the next one. Now we could either take it as far as this, or we could divide this in half. Let's divide this in half so that we almost create another circle. So on these vertical lines, we're going to go like this. So now we have that halfway point. And now we need to say, well, now it's going to come down about a quarter. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. Add another line here. This is like the quarter way. And now, you guessed it, we're going to connect them. So if you notice, these become a little more, much of a wider, fatter looking triangle or line or shape as opposed to this one. Okay, so we're going to darken these. And now we have our 1, 2, 3, 4th row. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this section here, this outer circle, and let's kind of eyeball it and divide it in half. But it could be equal to this one. So you could just kind of draw a line straight up from each one of these. So this will divide it in half. That's the easiest way to do it. Take this point and pull it up. So we have that divided line right there. Now, we want to kind of go halfway, and we can actually go and use this circle that intersects with this shape here. So we're going to use this circle here to connect. So where that intersection is, so we're going to go from here to there. Here to here, here to here. So that becomes that next line. Now, if I had used my circle, if I had used my line here and my point, if I had only gone to this point and come over to here, let's see what would happen if I did that. So say I did this to this, then it would come out a little fatter. See how see the difference? So we're going to use it like that. We can even take it a step further on this, and we can actually continue on with another layer. So again, we're using from here to here, from here to here. We're going to do that all around. From here to here, from here to here. Here to there. Sounds like I'm giving directions in a bad way, doesn't it? And then to there. So now we have our last layer of our last circle. I'm going to darken those lines. And that's our last one. Now, we have this one that doesn't have anything on it. We have this one that doesn't have anything on it, but we do have this one here that has all of these little frilly things. So I'm just going to take my pencil and just do this to it. And sometimes it has it at the top, sometimes it doesn't. It depends. I'm not like measuring, I'm not counting. I'm just kind of drawing them on there with a little bit, like just sticking with the rhythm of drawing it. And this is a hand-drawn mandala, so you want it to look like it is hand-drawn. Which means you don't want it to be perfect. So that becomes that last section there. And then in this middle area, we have all of these little specks. So I'm just going to kind of like, you know, tap the pencil down a bunch of times to just kind of fill in that area. I'm not creating a pattern. I'm not counting. I'm just using a random tapping type thing. Now, you could take this a step further and you could color it in. This would be cool to color in with just a number 2 pencil because it would kind of give that shading look to it. I am going to go back into the outer portion here and just kind of erase my lines that we don't want. Now, the lines that are on this template are light enough that if you were to scan this into your computer, you could take it away. You could take away those lines by brightening up your, the photograph. If you took a picture of, you could brighten it up on your photo filter, and it would definitely give you, it would get rid of those lines. Now, if you were to ink this, which I'm not going to do because I don't know if the ink is actually going to be able to go on top of my dark pencil. I don't want to, it's not going to really cover. So I'm using just the pencil. Just want to make sure that all my lines are the same weight, or the same darkness, and determine what I need to correct, what I need to take away. Add, erase this little portion there. This little section has, and that's it. and it's complete. So I just used a white eraser, and I just used a number 2 pencil for this, and then just darkened the lines as I was going along. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the post with this video, and have a great day. Great job today.